We're going to work through a number of multi-table queries in Oracle SQL. Up here at the top, this is the ER diagram that we'll be using. We have 4 tables. Each of those tables is related to one or more in a one-to-many relationship, and that is how we're going to specify the relationships between these tables. So all of these 10 queries are going to use 2, 3, or 4 of these tables. So let's start with the first one. We're looking for product names. And it's not required that you put the name of the table before the name of the field if there are no duplicates. If you look up here in my diagram, we have state in here under both manufacturer and customer. Product name is only in here once, and so it's not required that we prefix it with the name of the table and a period, but I'm going to do that just to remain consistent. So product name and also product.category. So that means the category attribute, the category field from the product table. And next we're asked for the manufacturer name. Manufacturer name is not listed under the product table. That's why we need a multi-table query, because we need fields that are retrieved from more than one table. Okay, and we're getting this from 2 different tables. It doesn't matter which order I specify these in first. I'm just going to say product first. I need to get this data from my product table, but I'm not done there because I need to join my product table to the manufacturer table. Next thing I need to specify is how are these 2 tables joined, and I do that with the on keyword. What are these joined on? Well, if you look at product and manufacturer, how are these 2 tables related? Well, they both have a manufacturer ID. In the product table, manufacturer ID is a foreign key. In the manufacturer table, manufacturer ID is the primary key. And it doesn't matter if I had this listed on the left side of the equal sign and this listed on the right. For a normal inner join, as all of these are, it does not matter what order these are on either side of that equal sign. And we're not done. We need to specify some criteria here. So we're asked for shoes where the category is sandals, sneakers, or casual shoes. So I'm going to use my in keyword here. So where our product category is in, and then inside of these parentheses, what am I going to specify? Sandals, sneakers, or casual shoes. Okay, but we're not done. We also need manufacturers of either buyer's picks or radii footwear. So let's specify that on a new line here. And we can use in again because we have a list of manufacturer names that any of those criteria can be met. I'm sorry, that didn't fit in there. So let me go down to a new line here just to make that fit. There we go. So I have 53 records that match all of those criteria. Let's save that and see if that meets what we needed to do for that. Yep, that looks good. Let's go down to our next one. So on our next one, we are going to join 3 different tables. In this one, we are looking for a distinct list of customers, cities, and states. So we are going to use our distinct keyword here. We want our city and our state. First table we're getting this from is the customer table. And we need to join that to the sale table. So everything we're going to need up here is going to come from customer, sale, and product, these three tables, because I have either field names from one of these three, or I have something in the where clause, so a filter that relies on data that's in one of these three tables. So I'm joining sale to the customer table. How am I going to join those? I'm going to join those on the fact that the customer ID field in the sale table is, which is a foreign key, is the customer ID field in the customer table, which is a primary key. I now need to join my product table. How am I going to join that? I'm going to join that on the fact that the product ID in the sale table, which is a foreign key, is the primary key of the product ID in the product table. Alright, so we've joined our three tables, and now I'm ready to start specifying my criteria. I'm looking for boots in January. So let's start with the date there. Let's extract our month from sale date equals 1. So if the month is equal to 1, that's going to be January. We do not put 1 inside of single quotes. And the second criteria is that category is boots. And since there is only one sale date in the table, it's not required that I prefix this with the name of my table, but I'm going to do it in order to be consistent. That's sale date from the sale table. Category is coming from the product table. And so those are boots, and we're still not done because we are asked to sort by state. So let's order these by the state of the customer. So I can test this query. After all that typing, there are the 65 records that match all of those criteria. Save answer. This should give me a 9 out of 10. The only thing I should be missing is the grading, which this will be fixed. Requires there to only be one space between order and by, although that does not match our formatting conventions. So I'm going to move this back and take the 9 out of 10 for now. Moving on to number 3. So here we're looking for a list of product names. So I'm going to select distinct because I do not want to see duplicates. And the first table we need here is the product table. And we only need to join this to one other table. That's the sale table. So back in my diagram here, the product and the sale table are related to each other in a one-to-many relationship. Product ID in my sale table is a foreign key. Product ID in my product table is a primary key. And so that's how these two tables are joined. Next, I am asked to, I apologize, we do need a third table for this one. We need to also join the customer table because we need to extract some customer information about the state that they live in. So we're going to join the customer table. How are we going to join that? On the fact that the customer ID field in the customer table, the primary key, is related to the foreign key of customer ID in the sale table. Now we're ready for our criteria. So our criteria is we're looking for customers within the states of Montana, Utah, and Wyoming. So since I have a list here, I'm going to use my in keyword, and then inside of these parentheses I'm going to specify those 3 states. So Montana, Utah, and Wyoming. And these states are in the database under their 2-character abbreviations. So I can test that now. And here are all of our customers from Montana, Utah, and Wyoming who have made purchases. And I can save that. And move on to the next one. On number 4, I'm asked to list all information about customers. So usually when you see all information or all fields, you're thinking, all right, I need to use an asterisk here. But when we have a multi-table query, if I want all of the fields from one table, not from all of the tables in my multi-table query, I need to preface that asterisk with the name of my table, customer.asterisk. And actually for this table, since we will be using aliases on table names, I'm just going to use C because I'm going to give that customer table an alias of C when I put it into my, my from statement. So select distinct, because I do not want to see duplicate customers. I just want a list of the customers who have bought products over $150. And where am I getting this? I'm getting this from the customer table. But since I'm using an alias, I put a space and then my alias. I'm giving this an alias of just C to keep it simple. We are going to join this to the sale table. Why do we need the sale table? Because I need a list of products whose list price is over $150. I actually need to join both the sale table and the product table because product price is listed in my product table. So join the sale, I'm going to give that an alias of S. And how am I going to join customer and sale? Well, the customer ID field in my customer table is related to the customer ID field in my sales table. I next need to join this to my product table, which I will give an alias of P. And how is that related? My product table is related to my sales table with product ID. Product ID is a foreign key in the sales table. It is a primary key in the product table. I'm not done because I need to specify in my where statement, I'm just looking for products that have a price of greater than $150. No single quotes are needed here because the price is stored as a numeric value in the database. So let me test that. Here are my 31 records. These are all of the records, or I'm sorry, all of the fields in the customer table because I specified the asterisk here that meet the criteria of having made a purchase of shoes that are greater than $150. So customers who are buying expensive shoes, save answer, and there's my 10 out of 10. On number 5, I won't be using aliases this time, but I do need to select distinct records because I do not want to see duplicates. I want the first name and the last name. I forgot a period there. Customer first name and last name, and the state. I have some errors here. I need a comma. Now we're looking good. Where do I want to get this from? I want to get this from my customer table, and I need to join my customer table to the sales table. Why? Because yes, all of these 3 records or 3 fields are from the customer table, so I'm fine there. The issue is I need a list of customers who have bought products with prices between $130 and $150. The cost of products is listed in my product table, so I need to join both the sale table and the product table. All 3 of these tables are needed in order to run this query. So I'm joining my sale table. How am I joining that? On the fact that customer.customer ID is sale.customer ID. So here is my foreign key. Here is my primary key. One-to-many relationship. The sale side is the many side of that one-to-many relationship. Next table I need to join is the product table. How am I going to join the product table? On the fact that product ID in my product table is related to product ID in my sale table. Now I'm ready for my where statement. What's my criteria going to be? I'm looking for product prices that are between $130 and $150 inclusive. So this, when I run this query, it will give me the same answer, but the grading is actually looking for greater than and less than symbols. So I will modify my code to do that. So where price is greater than or equal to 130, so that's going to be inclusive of 130, and product.price is less than or equal to 150. Now when I test that query and save it, I get the full credit. A common mistake that students make is they want to do this, where price is greater than or equal to 150 and less than or equal to $150, which makes sense when we are talking in plain English, but syntactically the translator requires these are two statements that are treated independently, so we need to specify our field name again, or product.price. Moving on to number 6, the names of manufacturers who have purchased, I think the word bin should not be in there, who have purchased during February. So we're looking for a distinct list of manufacturers whose products have been purchased. I apologize, that makes more sense. We want a distinct list of manufacturer names. We are getting this from the manufacturer table, but we need to join several other tables. Why is that? Because my manufacturer name is listed over here, but I am looking for sales that occurred in the month of February. So I need to join in both product and sale in order to make this query work. So let's start by joining our product table. How are we going to join that? On the fact that manufacturer ID in the manufacturer table, the primary key, is related to manufacturer ID in the product table, which is a foreign key. We next need to join the sale table. How do we join the sale table? On the fact that the product ID field in the sale table, a foreign key, is related to the product ID field in the product table, a primary key. So now we've joined those three tables together, and we're ready for our where statement. And we want manufacturers whose products have been purchased during February. So we can use an extract function here. We want to extract the month from the sale date field. Sale date field is right here. This captures the date that the sale took place. And we want to set that equal to 2, or just retrieve records where this is a true statement. So if the month of the sale date is 2, if this sale happened in the month of February, we want to see it. So let's test this query. Here are the list of manufacturers whose products were purchased in February. Save answer, and there's our full credit. So on number 7, we're looking for all sales information. So I want to select everything from sales, and remember we do that by specifying the table name, a period, and then the asterisk. Otherwise, just an asterisk will give us all of the tables from all of the, all of the fields from all of the tables, and we do not want to see that. So, and also we are going to be using alias names in this one. So my alias for sales, I'm just going to use S to keep that a little simpler. I want to get this from my sale table, which I'm going to give an alias of S to. I want to join that to my product table and give that an alias of P. How are these two tables joined? On the fact that product ID in the sale table is related to product ID in the product table. Next, I need to bring in the manufacturer table. Why? Because I need to specify these are sneakers made by Nike. And the only place that the manufacturer name appears is in the manufacturer table. Manufacturer ID is probably some numeric field. that corresponds to Nike, but we don't know what that is, so that's why we need the manufacturer table. So we want to join the manufacturer table. And give that an alias of M. And how are those two tables related? Manufacturer ID is related to the manufacturer ID in products, or in the product table, excuse me. Okay, so now we've set up our tables and our select and all of our joins, but we don't have our criteria yet. So I'm looking for white sneakers made by Nike. So I have several criteria. Oh, and I'm sorry, also July sales. So several criteria to work with. Let's start with that date. I'm going to extract the month from sale date, and sale date is in my sales table. That's why I'm prefixing that with an S. So where that month is equal to 7, the 7th month of the year, July. Next criteria is where the product color is white and the category is sneakers. And, still not done here, I need to specify that the manufacturer name is Nike. Alright, a lot of criteria there. I think I got them all. Okay, so here's all the sale details down here. And let's click Save Answer and see if we got everything. Good. Okay, moving down to number 8, alphabetical list of customers, last name first. Okay, so we need our customer's last name and first name. And we want this to be a distinct list. We don't want to see duplicates of customers who have purchased black shoes made by Keds. So customer.lastname, we're not using aliases on this one. We want to get this from the customer table and join that to the sale table. How are we going to join those? On the fact that the customer ID field in the customer table is related to the customer ID field in the sale table. And let's join that now to the product table on the fact that the product ID field in the sale table is related to the product ID in the product table. And we're still not done. We still have one more join to do here. We need to join in the manufacturer table. And how are we joining that? On the fact that so here's our first one where we had to bring in all 4 of the tables: customer, sale, product, and manufacturer. Why did we have to do that? Because we need an alphabetical list of customers, so I know I need something from here who have purchased black shoes. That's going to be in product, made by Keds. Keds is in my manufacturer table. And you might be thinking, well, we don't need anything from the sales table, but we cannot relate the customer table to the product and manufacturer table without first going through the sale table, so it needs to be in our query. So finally we can go to our where statement, and our first criteria is we need black shoes, so product.color is black, and we're looking for Keds. Okay, so now we have black Keds going on. Last thing we're asked to do is to sort this list. We're going to order this by customer last name and then by customer first name. So we want the Andrew Smiths to happen before the Zachary Smiths and so on. By default, both of those will be ascending. And so let's test the query, make sure we're not getting any errors. And here are our 7 customers that have purchased black Keds. And when I save answer, the only point I should miss is the extra space in order by, so that's fine. And then moving down to number 9, Number 9 is also going to join all 4 of the tables. But on this one we are going to use aliases, so we have a little less typing to do. And we want a distinct list of those states of manufacturers. And I'm going to give my manufacturer table an alias of M. And we're going to get this from, I'm going to start with the customer table, because this is the same order I did last time. Join that to my sale table, which I'll give an alias of S. How are these two joined? These are joined on next. I need to join in that product table. And how are these joined? And now we need to bring in that manufacturer table. And how is that joined? That's joined to the product table. Oops, apologies. That's better. All right, so our tables are all in and they are joined. The next thing we need to do is specify we're looking for the customers who live in Kansas. So where C, customer.state, here's an example where I cannot just put state because we don't know, the translator would not know if we're referring to state in this table or in this table. So C.state, we know I'm referring to the customer's state, and I'm looking for customers in Kansas, and where the product category is sneakers. Okay, let's test that, make sure we have no errors. Yep, they're all joined. We have a distinct list of states there. That's looking good. Let's save that answer. And moving on to our last one. Our last one is again using all of the tables. And we're going to do some copying and pasting this time. We're not using aliases. I'm selecting a distinct list of product names. Don't want to see duplicates there. And then I'm going to copy all of this. Since up here I was not using aliases either, and I was getting data from all 4 of the tables. So let's save ourselves some typing and just copy that in. But where we are going to have some differences is down here in our where statement. I need to specify some criteria. I need products that were made by Adidas. Let's start with that. My next criteria is I'm looking for customers that live in the state of California. 2-digit abbreviation. And then finally, I'm looking for August sales. Sales that were made in August. So let's use our extract to get August out of that sale date. And August being the 8th month, we put an 8 there. Test that query. And I have an error. And I should not have pluralized product names. Okay, there we go. My mistake, product name is listed in here, product name singular, my mistake. Let's save that answer, see if we got our 10 out of 10. And we did.